Todd Akin had these crazy ideas about what is legitimate rape and otherwise, and then how you can't get pregnant if you are raped. Now, where the hell did he come up with that crazy stuff? Well, it turns out it's a guy named Dr. Jack Wilke, and he wrote a book called Why Can't We Love Them Both? Interesting. That was first published in 1985, and then he wrote another article confirming the theories that he had in there about rape and abortion in 1999. He was celebrated by Republicans throughout. In fact, he's still celebrated by them. Henry Hyde, a legendary Republican congressman, introduced Jack Wilke to a rousing ovation of other Republicans, and he's kind of a figure that's very well respected, certainly in the pro-life community and hence the Republican Party. In fact, he put out a statement saying that he was, quote, outraged at how quickly Republican leaders have deserted Akin. Now, Akin has also then turned around and said that Wilke is on his side, and he's quoted him 2 different times over the last 2 days, saying, look at what Dr. Wilke is saying. You see, Dr. Wilke's on my side. So, what did Dr. Wilke think about rape and abortion? Well, you turn to his book and his articles, and you find out, and you understand that's where Akin got his idea. So, let me give you some quotes. He says, only half of the assailants penetrate her body and or deposit sperm when referring to women who have been raped. I don't know what the and or is. I don't get that, right? But where did he get that number? Made up. What scientific study talks about how only half of the guys raping leave the sperm behind and or what? It's just totally made up, right? Continue. He says there's about 1 or 2 pregnancies for each 1,000 rapes. Once again, wholly made up. In fact, a real number is about 5% of women who are raped get pregnant. In fact, 32,000 pregnancies every year based on rape. Now, we have a little video of Dr. Wilke talking about a lot of this nonsense, but wait till you hear what he says beyond this, because he's just warming up. Let's watch first.
There is certainly a majority of people in the United States who would favor abortion in the case of an assault rape pregnancy or of incest. And yet, there are only 1 or 2, maybe 300 assault rape pregnancies in the whole United States in a year. There is a narrower majority for an abortion in the case that the baby is seriously handicapped. But that is where the majority stops. You have only a minority supporting abortion for 99% of the reasons that it now is being done. She is not married. She has too many children already. She wants to stay in school. This is not her husband's child. She can't afford it. Those are social and economic reasons, and they constitute about 99% of all abortions. None of those reasons command a majority.
So understand 2 things there. First of all, he made up the number about, there's only 200 or 300 pregnancies, as I just told you, based on research by the University of South Carolina. There are, in fact, 32,000 pregnancies because of rape every year. Second of all, you get an idea from that speech why they came up with this nonsense in the first place. Because it's inconvenient for them. If you're raped, and everybody thinks, oh, you should be able to get an abortion, and they're, damn it, that doesn't suit their agenda. They want to make sure that you can never have an abortion, that it is illegal under all circumstances. So what do? They bring in idiot quack Dr. Wilke to say, don't worry about it, they can't get pregnant anyway if they're raped. But it gets much crazier. He explains the quote-unquote scientific reason behind it. Says she is frightened if she's been raped, the victim, frightened, tight, and so on. And sperm, if deposited in her vagina, are less likely to be able to fertilize. The tubes are spastic. Now, when real doctors were asked about this, they said, what? I've now read many articles where each doctor says that is not remotely true. There's no such thing as the tubes being spastic, and if that were the case, it wouldn't matter anyway, because the sperm is so incredibly small. But these knuckleheads, they don't know anything about science. They probably think, oh, there it is, I see the sperm. I bet if the tubes get spastic, it can't pass. Fail. Okay. Then he makes up another theory. Rapists are, quote, some of these guys just plain aren't fertile. What is that based on? Who knows? Who cares? We're making stuff up now. Okay. Where's your research on it? None. Doesn't exist. Okay. You ready for the craziest? When talking about rapists, he said, quote, many rapists have a preference for rectal intercourse over vagina or vaginal. Where did he get that fact? Snatched it out of there. Oh, of course, there's no science behind that. Of course, it's totally fictional. And who's crazy enough to come up with a theory like that? Yeah, I bet they like anal more. Based on what? Now, this is the lunatic that the Republicans pray down to. They're like, oh, Dr. Wilke, pro-life expert Dr. Wilke. Akin has proudly quoted him over the last 2 days. You know, as I told you, Henry Hyde, almost all of the major Republicans, but we're not done. Mitt Romney, when he was running for president for the first time around in 2007, he got Wilke's endorsement, and he was so proud. Here, let me give you his quote. I am proud to have the support of a man who has meant so much to the pro-life movement in our country. He knows how important it is to have someone in Washington who will actively promote pro-life policies. I look forward to working with Dr. Wilke and welcome him to Romney for president. This is their ideological guru on abortion and rape. And they're proud to have this lunatic's endorsement. And the rest of the media can't tell you because they can't say, oh, I'm sorry, it turns out this portion of the country is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They've lost their minds, right? They believe this quack who's, oh yeah, rapists, they're infertile and they love anal. I can't fathom how stupid this guy is. But the rest of the media say, well, Dr. Wilke, I mean, Republicans, we have to treat everything 50-50. On the one side, we have science. On the other side, we have a total fucking moron. Okay, but let's call it 50-50. Well, you could believe in Dr. Wilke or you could believe in science. Either way, Mitt Romney, proud to have his endorsement.